This is Tuesday morning, and this goes out to the Chief of Police, the HOA, the golf management, Carlos, the officer I called on the phone, and the golfer that I approached yesterday about the setup of the tee box. Here we are again. I'm looking down the barrel of an ambush. Let me tell you where we are here. We're on the 6th hole. That is the iconic tee location for the 6th hole. That tee location has produced probably 5,000 balls been put in my yard over the last 15 years, 13 and a half, 15 years since this course has been open. This yard suffers the burden of being the landing area for mediocre golf. Now, the guy just came along and set the tee box, and he thinks he's doing me a favor by moving it up a few feet from that corner and in a little bit. He hasn't done me a thing. All right, all day long I got to deal with golf mediocrity going through there. I have no control over the algorithm of who's striking the ball. It's all about the club face at impact. Now, who's holding on to the club at impact? Is it a 250-pound gorilla from the local high school? He's out here with his buddies and they're laughing all day at him, trying to hit a golf ball. He's never hit a golf ball in his life, and they put him on that tee box? Or do I have to put up with some guy from some international snowbird and his friends that they accidentally loft one in my yard, and the tribal knowledge here for the last 15 years since this place is open, if I pay my dues, if I pay my greens fees, I have a right to walk on anybody's patio. When this place opened, there was hardly a house on the course. There wasn't a house on the course. The only houses were the models, and I'm going to pan over there right now. Here's where I live, okay? I live on Sundance Lake. This is the signature hole. The reason I have these houses is because the people were out here for a year or two before me. When they put these lots up for sale, they were all sticker shocked. They couldn't see the forest for the trees. They couldn't see the value out here. I got off a plane, took a half-an-hour ride. I got off a plane from San Francisco, took 1.5 hour ride, and I got here. But these lots, now I'm going to pan the houses. That's the first house I bought. 2 months later, I ordered these 2 houses. I got 3 of the best lots on the course. I'm on the signature hole, the only lake on the course, okay? And because nobody liked that an out-of-towner, not a Buckeye town, he tied up these lots. A single guy from San Francisco, from out of town, came in here and tied up all 3 of these lots. The reason these lots didn't sell before I got to them, they were listed for a month or two at $25,000 a piece. Everybody that was out here from Buckeye, is my opinion, would have been embarrassed to pay that much for a 5,000 square foot lot. I had just got in from San Francisco. I walked off the plane. Where I was living in San Francisco was about 3 miles from SFO. You couldn't touch a house there, no matter what a wreck it was, for less than $1 million. And here I come out here, I'm 30 miles from the airport, 35 miles from the airport, and I bought all 3 of these lots for an average $150,000 each. I stole them. And because I stole them, I've been burdened now with people who didn't like what took place. Now, I got to deal with this all day. Here's my patio. Right here. This is my patio. Okay? Say I wanted to have a wedding ceremony out here. I wanted to rent the patio out for a small wedding ceremony. A very intimate one. Little party. Where we've got this patio filled up with personnel, people. flesh and blood. And here, about 50 yards away, you got a gorilla trying to hit a 150-yard shot to a back pin that's on that green right there. Okay? Now, this gorilla has never taken a lesson. He's never taken a lesson. He's out here on a lark. And I want to point out the tribal knowledge that has been cultivated over the years here at Sundance. Sundance is, I told the policeman yesterday, they mixed oil and water, or they attempted to mix oil and water. They put high density housing, a house every 10 feet. The lots 40 feet wide all the way down the street. That means if you got a street that's 1,600 feet long, you got 40 houses in that 1,600 feet. Okay? Right now, because I'm unpopular with the golf course, because I'm the only person up here on this hill that complains about this, I have to tell somebody, and I'm making this for the police and the HOA, this is assault. This is assault. I'm threatened every day. Those tee boxes are set up to please the men's club. A bunch of old dinosaurs that are getting older and older every day, and they've got too much ego to run up to the women's tee. They know they don't have the shot to reach the green, so they have to put the thing all the way back and all the way to the right so they can run it down the cart path. Because they know anything hit left is dead in the lake. So I've got a bunch of old fogies, a bunch of old dinosaurs coming through every morning that insist on having that tee box right there because they want to run the ball down the lake. They don't want to lose a ball in the lake. They don't want a lake shot over the lake. So I have to deal with this. Now, it's not really a big problem when the old pros go through, that 30 or 40 or 45 idiots that go through every morning that are so, with their custom carts and the arrogance to think that I can sit up here and have my son, who's never played a golf, he's 14, I'm interested into the game, to think that I have to deal with this father putting his son on that tee box, and then when his son hits a ball in my yard, this father puts his son in the cart, he drives up to these plants right here. Now this is Mr. West Valley. This guy is probably a lodge brother or deacon in the church. He's so white, it'll make you sick, all right? He's a white Republican. He just had his son tee off from down there. He didn't take him to get a lesson. You'll pick it up. You're my son. How could you not learn how to play golf? So the kid's here 14 or 15. You finally get him out to play, and he puts one in my yard right between my houses. Right between my houses. They go up against there. All right, back by that red pot. Goes over my patio. What's this lodge brother father do? This lodge brother father puts his son in the cart, and he drives right up to that white stake or right up to these plants, and then he tells his son, go get your ball. Go get your ball. I've seen it 15 or 20 times. I sit in my window if I'm washing the dishes, if I'm cooking, or I'm doing anything at the counter. I see these people pull up to my property line, get out of the car, and walk between my houses. This has happened about 5,000 times, and it happens because of the proximity of this box. Okay? I'm burdened with brand new golfers. I'm burdened with mediocre golfers. I'm burdened with golfers that have never taken a lesson before, and the biggest burden is these golfers were raised on this golf course where they think that if they pay their greens fees, they can walk on anybody's patio. I've had several altercations with golfers. When I wake up in the morning and I walk out to the kitchen sink and there's a golfer who's about 6'3", weighs about 240, he's about 24 years old, and he's been playing golf here since he was 15 years old, And I tell him, I go, what are you doing? He goes, well, I'm looking for my golf ball. I'm sorry, I'm looking for my golf ball. Get off my property. And then all of a sudden the guy turns on you and he looks at you like a West Valley knuckle-dragging one-eyed ape and goes, listen, I told you I was just looking for my golf ball. You bought a house on a golf course. You don't understand. I paid greens fees here. This is the protocol. This is the tribal knowledge. This is the doctrine. This is the way we play Sundance. All right? We play grip and rip all day, and if it goes in somebody's yard, because we paid our greens fees, we can walk in any yard. I pay taxes on this yard. I pay dues on this yard. Nothing makes me sicker than watching some Canadian walk between my houses like he owns and then takes his time walking off my lot enjoying my view. Okay? I've said my piece. Now, the first golfer is going to come through, and it's probably going to be the guy I had an altercation with yesterday. He came up, the tee boxes were in the middle of the tee, which means they were over here a lot more. They put them in the center of the tee. That's the way that was started. The first day on Saturday, they had those tee boxes right there. That's the way it started. Within 3 days, and yesterday morning, the tee box is right about there. When the guy showed up, the first thing he did is move the tee boxes back to the cart path. That's when I walked down and encountered him. I said, what are you doing? I said, when you move that tee box toward the cart path, you're moving it toward my house. These are my exact words. You're exponentially increasing the probabilities that a ball is going to go in my yard with every foot you move that to the right. You've got morons out here. Not only morons with a club in their hand, you try to give a kid a 7-iron back there on his first day and then tell him to hit it on the green. You might as well give him a math equation that's going to take him 2 days. He's sitting there trying to figure out in his head, and you can see it. I sit here and watch. I know what the bad shots are going to be. When you got a kid frozen over the ball, he can't pull the trigger. He's staring down at the ball, and then he pulls the trigger trick quick, and the next thing you know, 50 yards away, I got a ball, a blue darter, coming right for me. I've seen it over and over and over again. And then I've got, you see these white stakes? Those white stakes, that's golf course. The bush, that's my lot. Have you ever seen a golf course set up like this? This is bumper golf. This is contact golf. This is free ranging golf. They got free range parenting. Well, when you buy, here's the guy now. Here's the guy I had an altercation with yesterday. He went, I wonder if he's happy with those tee boxes. Now, if those tee boxes were in the middle of the tee, he'd be out there moving them back. This guy is he's the first guy. These two guys make sure every morning they're the first guys out. And he sets up the tee boxes. If he doesn't like where the tee box is set up, he sets it up. Okay? He sets up the tee box where he wants it. Not this guy, the other guy. The other guy. When I said you're moving the tee box toward my house, it's like, I don't care. Well, you know, you're threatening my property. I'm going to have people walking on my property. He wouldn't even let me talk. He wouldn't let me talk because every time I was trying to reason with him. When you leave this afternoon, I'm going to have barbarians. It's going to look like that commercial of Vikings going through. This is a cattle drive in the afternoon. Every time somebody walks on my lot or hits my house or breaks something in mine, these are my children, my house. I never had children. I never had a wife. I don't have anything. My children are these lots. When I see some arrogant Canadian or some lodge brother's son, 15 years old, that his lodge brother father just told him, walk between that guy's house. This is Buckeye land. I grew up in Buckeye. That guy's an out-of-towner. Don't worry about him. Well, I'll tell you, when that kid walks across my lot, or that Canadian who walks across my lot or standing on my patio, I feel like my wife just got felt up and my kids just got fondled. Why am I paying taxes if I got to deal with this day in and day out?